What is going on? It is Chris Colgan, your favorite Northern Virginia realtor. As always, definitely hit that subscribe button, like my page as well. If you have any questions on Northern Virginia or the DC market, shoot me an email, especially if you're thinking about buying or selling a house. But let's talk about it. Deutsche Bank came out with the shocking news that they see the United States having a major recession. Their thoughts behind it were that the Fed is going to have to keep raising interest rates to slow down inflation, and they thought there would be a deeper downturn to knock down this stubborn high inflation, and it's going to be a necessary evil. And also some of their thoughts were the Fed has never really predicted this right, and you know what, they think it's going to keep on going. As we've seen, 30-year mortgage rates are about 5.25% right now. So could Northern Virginia and the DC area be heading for a major downturn or some kind of economic recession? Now let's talk about it for 1 second. A recession is not always a catastrophic thing where everyone is always living on the streets. Usually, from what I understand, it's 2 straight quarters of economic downturn. We obviously had that in Q1 in the United States. And again, their thoughts are, hey, look, you know what? It's gonna have to be done to stop this inflation. Gas prices are high, all that, and rates are just gonna keep creeping up. And a lot of people recently have been calling me and they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm trying to sell my house. I'm trying to time the market. The other thing I wanna discuss is the myth that you can definitely time the market. So let's get right into all of this. So the troubling thing, I think, from that is the fact that Deutsche Bank, they're pretty much the only one that said they thought there would be a major recession. A lot of people were surprised by their analysis. From what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing out there, it's more of a mild recession is what everyone's thinking. There has been several mild recessions in the last even 10 or 20 years. Nothing like we saw with the Great Recession, but there has been several. And the thing is, it is very common, lot more common than what you think it is. So some of the good news though, from what I'm seeing out there, is Fortune magazine, which I posted on my community tab here on YouTube. They did a map of where they thought real estate prices would trend downwards in the next year. And one of the hottest areas they didn't see any issue with was the Washington, DC area where we live right now in Northern Virginia. In Florida, obviously they see a lot of upturn. Parts of California and Nevada, they see some downturn. But we are still having a strong job market, a very low inventory here. And what I did, honestly, was I dug deep down and I said, let me pull some of the numbers here for Fairfax, Loudoun, and Prince William. And I'll do a more in-depth video in the next week or so. So I wanted to see what were inventory numbers like last year this time and what were they like this year. And I wanted to see the difference because I feel like, yeah, there is a lot more coming on the market, but there hasn't been as much activity. So I really want to see why. So last year, if you go back to last May, in Fairfax County, there were 1,900 active listings, but this past last month in April, there was 1,387 and their average sold price increased to $778,000. And then you go down to Loudoun, they had 527 listings on the market last year. And then this past month, it was 506 averagely active with an average sales price of $795,000. So I believe around this time last year, Loudoun's average sales price was around $750,000. Prince William County, where I live, last year, we actually had 607 listings on the market. And then this year it was 495 with the average sold price of $566,000. I think Prince William last year was around like 525, somewhere around there. So when you look at the data, there actually is less houses on the market, so less people are putting on their home on the market, but there also, to me, has seemed to be a lack of buyers here recently. A few listings that I've put on, they haven't been getting the crazy amount of showings that we have seen before in the past, and also truly not getting multiple offers. And I'm having to have a lot of conversations with the people and say, hey, look, you know what? Don't expect these crazy multiple offers and people waiving appraisals and waiving inspections and all that. I think we're getting into a more normal market, which honestly is what I'm kind of hoping for, because you know what, when we're going up 10 to 20%, that's not really a healthy thing. Eventually, when you keep going like that, the bubble has to burst. And like I said, with the lack of inventory around here and the lack of building that's going on, I definitely think all these prices made sense about going up. But to have a 3 to 4% normal market increase per year is actually about what I expected that to average. And we could actually almost see flat year over year as well if this mini recession does happen. So the question is, what should you do? Like, look, here's what I tell people all the time. You've heard me say on my videos, if you watch my videos a lot. If you're thinking, hey, I'm gonna buy a house, I'm gonna stay here for 2 years and then I'm getting the hell out of here. Definitely do not do it. When you buy real estate, it is a long-term thing for sure. So do not buy just to think you're gonna be a short-term flipper. If you're thinking about selling and you wanna time the market, there is no way possible to do that. I bought a house in 2008 when I thought maybe it would be at the low point. It ended up not being at the low point. It was still kind of high, but in 2009, 2010, it went lower. But you know what? I paid, a lot less than what my house would sell for now, and my rate then was 6%. So if I would have listened to the rates or tried to time the market, I wouldn't have bought. Yeah, maybe I would have got a little better deal another year or two down the road, but I wouldn't have had all this equity built up that I have now. So you're never, ever going to time the market. And if you can, then you obviously have a crystal ball. So Northern Virginia area, DC area, still really hot. As far as the recession, I do think we are heading for some kind of mild recession, as Deutsche Bank points out. A major one, I'm not really seeing it, unless inflation keeps getting out of control. I really want to know what your guys' thoughts are. I'm also going to link below some other videos I want you to check out where I talk about the market stats, things that are happening in different area tours. Definitely subscribe to this channel as well. I appreciate it. I'll see you at the top or from the top.